Hi, welcome to Nomis Academy. In this video, I'll be teaching you LCM. Yes, some of you are familiar with LCM, with the word lowest common multiple, but it's just the same as to say least common multiple. Lowest or least common multiple. And what does this mean? To find the least common multiples of a set of numbers, then we'll have to think about the multiplication table. We learned multiplication table 2 times 1, 2 times 3. That's what we mean by the multiple of a number. So the multiple of a number is that number being added up sequentially at an interval, at every interval. That is the multiple of a number. Then after looking for the multiples of the numbers to some extent, then we can find the common ones and then get to know which among the common one is the least. Let's get into this solution. The solution to this question. Now find the LCM of 2 and 10. So in this case, we'll first look for the multiples of 2. Let's look for the multiples of 2 to, let's say, the 15th multiple. The multiples of 2 begins from 2 itself, then 4 plus 2, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. We can continue like that to any extent we wish to. It doesn't matter. Then 10. The multiples of 10 are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, to any extent. So now we just found the multiples of 2 and the multiples of 10. Now what is next is the CM. The CM is common multiple. Common multiples are multiples that appear here and at the same time appear at this other number. Now let's find the common multiples. 2 is not common, 4 is not common, 6 is not common, 8 is not common, 10 is common. So we pick 10. The next is 20. 20 is a common multiple, and the next is 30. So we just found that 10, 20, 30 are common multiples. Now one thing you will notice about the common multiple is that the first common multiple still repeats itself to find the multiples. That is, if the first common multiple is 10, then the other ones are the multiples of that 10. You can see that after 10 we have 20, 30. That is, if I cannot really tell the multiples of 2 to a greater or to a longer extent, I can predict that the next one will be 40, 50, 60, like that. Now, which of these multiples now is the least? LCM. That's the smallest. That is 10 is the LCM. So 10 is the LCM of 2 and 10. So let's take another example. Now in this case, we have to find the LCM of 3 different numbers. Remember that the previous example was just 2 and it was easy. Then how do we do this? Still the same processes. Let's get into the solution. Then we'll find the multiples of 2, 3, and 5. 2. So let's begin. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. Let's stop there. And out of 3 we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 15. We have 18. We have 21. We have 24, 27, 30, 33, and so on. And out of 5, definitely have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and so on like that. Now, the common multiple. Now, we can look critically. We see that with what we have been able to put down, we have not been able to arrive at the common multiple. 10 is here, 10 is here, but 10 is not in the multiples of 3. Therefore, 10 is not a common multiple. So, we are looking for the common multiple for these 3. It must be that that particular number exists for the 3 numbers. The common multiple must exist for it. So, justifying for 2 is not enough. For instance, now 10 appeared here, 10 appeared here, but there's no 10 in the multiples of 3. Therefore, 10 is not a common multiple. So think of another number. What other number? 18. 18 here. You can see for the multiples of 2 we have 18, and the multiples of 3 we have 18, but the multiples of 5 we do not have 18, so 18 is not a common multiple. So the first common multiple here will be 30. 30, because we can find 30 when we continue the multiples of 12 to 24, 26, 28, we have 30, and in the multiples of 3 we already have 30 here, and in the multiples of 5 we already have 30 again. So 30, 30, and we'll definitely have 30. So 30 is the first common multiple. Remember what we said in the previous example. So the multiples continue like that: 60, 90, 120. Now the LCM is always the first, and which is 30. So the LCM of 2, 3, and 5 is equal to 30. So let's take example number 3. Now example number 3 now is more complicated in the case where we have 4 different numbers. So we have to look for the LCM of 4 different numbers. Let's get into the solution. It is still the same process. Let's get to write 2, 3,